Classic Restos is proudly brought to you by Shannons, insurance for motoring enthusiasts, Hare and Forbes Machinery House, Pace Farm, and Hero Hoists. It's time to show you what is out on the showfield as I bring you part 2 of the 2019 Kumeu Classic Car and Hot Rod Festival on this week's Classic Restos. Just a recap. Now, last week's show, we heard from organiser Ken Galvin as he put a spin on this year's Kumeu event. Bazza in the bike shed gave us the rundown on these two-wheel mechanical marvels and their awesome display, the biggest to date here at Kumeu. Then into Shed 1 we went, and Justin's 64 Galaxy set the shed proud, hosting an incredible custom interior and enough power up front to actually pull the shed down. Gary's 28 and 32 Fords were very cool. He was a wealth of information. It was priceless and made the hot rod fraternity shine this year at Kumeu. Gene was next with his 69 Hemi Roadrunner. Only a couple of hundred of these were made, and this is one of them. Hemi and a factory 4-speed. Factory stock as a rock, running low 11s back in 1969. So sit back now and enjoy the rest of the amazing 2019 Kumeu Classic Car and Hot Rod Festival on Classic Restos. An EK Holden's pretty cool at the best of times, but when it's a panel van and then on top of that, bit of custom work, chopped, wow, it's behind us. How you doing, Clinton?
Yeah, good, thank you, Fletch. How are you?
Good, mate, good. It's an incredible car here.
Oh, thank you very much.
Very different.
Yeah, it's unusual. I like that. I like different things, and yeah, it stands out in the crowd.
Mate, work in process getting it to that stage.
Yeah, it took 4.5 years. Yep, and it's been on the road now for a year.
It's a good-looking car.
Yep, it's got some nice lines to it. It's the good colour, and yeah, it gets a lot of attention.
It's almost to the point where possibly even Holden designers could have looked at that back in the time if it was done then, and they might have even agreed.
Well, it might be a little bit too futuristic for them back then, I think.
Now, Clinton, in terms of body work, apart from the chop, anything else been done to the car?
Well, when I got the car, it was a driving body. Basically, I completely stripped it back, put it on a rotisserie, and panel, paint, upholstery, running gear, everything like that. So the base was already done. So it's had the chop. The foundation was built basically, and I just had to finish it off properly.
As we look around the car, Clinton, I love what you've done. No door handles, push button there, something different. We look inside, big console, gear lever. It's a very different car, but it's kind of like, I guess you could term it as it's in vogue with the era.
Yeah, I guess when I'd have to say Andrew invented this car, he had some good vision and some good ideas.
Yes, Facebook friend of mine, Andrew Clatworthy, very, very clever guy over here in New Zealand with his Holdens, and credit to Andrew for mainly a lot of the build work, right?
That's correct. Yeah, I mean it was his vision. He couldn't finish the project, and I was in the position to finish it, so I thought, well, I may as well just do it. Get it on the road and do it justice. Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. And on that note too, with Facebook, look up Classic Restos and like the page. I'm always after as many likes as I can get, Clinton.
No problem. I check you out here and there, mate.
That's nice. Now, glass in back, the little section of glass. Every little fine detail's been done here with this. Easy work when it came to the glass.
I actually had to get the screen cut. It was going to be $5,000 to get a screen moulded, and I was like, no way. So I got this old school glass guy, and he went through 2 screens, but finally got one cut.
Up front with the engine, what did you do there?
So 350 stock standard. It's 290 horse. It's nothing. It's a bit of a cruiser really.
I'm a firm believer. It's not always about horsepower. You can have something that the horsepower's not that high, but the car looks sensational. And let's face it, with the way our rules are these days, and safety and staying safe on the road, sometimes, well, most times, it's more sensible just to have something that just looks $1 million.
Oh yeah, I do the speed limit, and occasionally if I have to overtake someone, I know I can do it, but I just cruise it, 90, 100 Ks.
Sometimes I go under. I just, window down, arm on the door, let the world go by, just enjoying the classic car. You've got the noise of the exhaust. It's just a whole different world when you drive them. Clinton, it's been wonderful catching up with you, mate. Love the car. Thank you very much.
No, thanks, Fletch. We'll catch you around.
Cheers, mate. There is no doubt that this is a unique custom build for this EK, and Head of Styling and Design for Holden in Australia, Richard Filazzo, played a big part in Efijy, and I can't help but think of Efijy when I look at this car right here. And I'm sure that even to the likes of Richard would appreciate the Harley-Davidson fuel tank here used as a console in this particular car. It just goes to show that, I guess, when you go down the road of a custom build, it's all up to how far you want to go with your imagination.
We've always had a few cars. They're all special. The T-Bird.
Oh, that's mine.
The Combi for when we want to get away. The XR8.
It's going to be a classic.
They're all insured with Shannons,
We've also got Shannon's home and contents cover.
which helps protect our automotive collectibles, tools and memorabilia in the home and garage. If you're motoring enthusiasts like us, it's got to be.
Shannon's.
Shannons, insurance for motoring enthusiasts. Call 13 46 46 for a quote.
In 2019, why not consider a Detroit tour with Fletch? Detroit, the automotive epicenter. It will leave you gobsmacked. Imagine experiencing where automotive history on a grand scale began. Stay in fine accommodation, taking in some of the best museums and private car collections on the planet. Book your 2019 Detroit tour with Fletch. 1300 146 392. How would you like to double your garage space and work on your cars easily? Well, bring in your own hero with a Lift King hoist. Easy to install models in 1, 2 and 4 post styles. Check the very nifty Spider 2500 portable mini scissor lift. Hero hoists are either Oz certified or carry the Euro CE, your guarantee of quality construction and reliability. I regularly stand under my Lift King, so when you need a bit of a lift, why don't you go stand under yours? Heron Forbes Machinery House has been family owned and operated for over 85 years, and it's easy to see why. Planning on welding? Look at these welding tables and clamps, air compressors and different air tools, sandblasting cabinets, through to spray guns. Everyone is welcome at Machinery House. There are competitive freight rates around Australia, and you can buy online at machineryhouse.com.au. So remember, Hare and Forbes has the range. Okay, time for a truck on today's show. How you doing, Al?
Yeah, very well, thank you, Fletch.
That's good, mate. 1957 International truck. Love this.
Yes, as a boy, I used to go for a ride to the quarry in an AS 160. I thought they were lovely, and I thought to myself, one day I'm going to get one, even if it's a 120, and restore it, and boyhood memories.
What's the story of the truck? Like, what's its history? Where did it do most of its work, Al?
This truck was a tow truck down in the South Island, firstly at Parnassus, north of Christchurch, and more recently at Hines, about an hour south of Christchurch. I located it down there and went to see it and brought it home, pulled right down to the last nut and bolt.
Inside the truck, you've done a fantastic job. You've still got a little way to go, just a few bits and pieces.
Yeah, nothing major.
A horn button, and then there's some wiring out the back near your tail lights. You're giving it a red hot go, Al.
Oh yes, it's you do it once and do it properly.
Exactly, and that is probably the best advice with any project, I believe. It's a short, quick sentence, but it just means so much, and that's just a...
It doesn't cost too much to do it a good job as against a bad job.
Yeah. Inside, you've the seat reupholstered, the painted dash. We step back into the 50s here. It's such a classic-looking truck. You're happy with the progress?
I'm very happy, yes.
Again, there's something about timber as well, I think, on a tray. Whether you leave it the way that you have it there, or whether they're varnished, sanded off beautiful, the way they're finished, that really makes the truck as well.
It does.
Good on you, Al. Well, look, thanks for hanging around. I know that it meant quite a bit to you to be on this special Kumeu episode, so thank you so much. It's a restoration in process, and as we've alluded to earlier, Al still has a little way to go on the truck, but to me, I don't know, you'd be what? You're 98% there, Al.
Pretty well, yes. Yeah, nearly there.
All right, mate. Well, we're going to see you back here next year, and we might see it running, eh?
You certainly will.
Thanks, bud.
Okay. Thanks, Fletch.
You're welcome.
Pleasure.
Thanks, Al.
Thank you.
The story of Henry Ford, the Model T Ford, absolutely amazing. Now, the Paquette building in Detroit, that is just a must-see. That's where a lot of this stuff began. And also, as David has alluded to, the Hershey swap meet. Now, these have been episodes of Classic Restos, and you can search for them and see them on the Shannons Club. They're all there for you to see. David, tell us mechanically, have you had to do anything to the car since you've had it?
Well, briefly, the car was done for show, not for go, as a lot of American restorations are. And so once we got the car here, we had to redo. For instance, the nuts were never completely tightened up for fear of cracking the paint under the washers. So we had to really start from the front and go right through the car, just tightening everything. But the car has gone very well. And as every Ford owner knows, Model A, Model T, and Model B parts are absolutely freely available. There is nothing I can't get for this car and have it delivered to my house here in Auckland within 4 days.
It's amazing. It was certainly the bronze era, wasn't it?
It was indeed, and it was, Henry got America moving, and he certainly was real left field once he started. And
it was a good philosophy too, was to build a product that the average working man could afford. And I think that's very much the way that General Motors Holden went down the road in Australia as well in the early days of the Holden. If you had yourself a good, reliable job, you could get yourself into a new Holden.
And I think the other thing that Henry was very wised up very quickly was he knew these cars were going to be scattered far and wide where there was no support. So the majority of steel, including in this vehicle, is vanadium. And for those of you that are not sure, vanadium is the same steel that your spanner is made out of, your crescents. And so there's very little evidence of the serious stuff in the chassis breaking because of the vanadium steel.
I think the electrics with the magneto side of things with these Model Ts was brilliant as well. Henry used to employ a lot of ladies on the assembly lines to do the copper wirings and put the magnetos together. I just think that's brilliant.
Yes, and of course he, with the electrics being provided by the flywheel and the magnets that were there, right through to the trembler boxes, the car could run without any form of outside support and electricity.
The voltage is really high too in these things. They'll give you a good belt.
Yes.
Talk about electronic ignition. To tell you what, Henry, he had it early.
Those of you that know Petronix electronics, they're about 40,000. I think Henry actually beats that, and I know you drop it real quick, whatever you're doing.
Yeah, not bad for a clever farmer, hey?
No, that's right. And but simplicity, it was the theory of KISS, keep it simple, stupid.
Absolutely, and speaking of which, that's how I get by. David, wonderful talking to you. It was lovely seeing the 1912 roll in here this morning to Kumeu, and keep up the splendid effort. It would have to be the oldest car here, I think, at the event. Congratulations, my friend.
Nice to have met you. Nice to have met you. Take care.
Thanks, David.
Bye-bye.
I spend a lot of time out here. The RT Charger's the real deal. An E49. Remember A-Charger? I've always got projects on the go, so Shannon's laid-up cover helps protect my restorations. I'm Mopar through and through. It's a passion Shannon's understands. I wouldn't insure my cars and bikes with anyone else.
Shannons, insurance for motoring enthusiasts. Call 13 46 46 for a quote.
In 2019, why not consider a Detroit tour with Fletch? Detroit, the automotive epicenter. It will leave you gobsmacked. Imagine experiencing where automotive history on a grand scale began. Stay in fine accommodation, taking in some of the best museums and private car collections on the planet. book your 2019 Detroit tour with Fletch. 1300 146 392. If you have a restoration project, Hare and Forbes has the tools that you need. Shrinker stretchers, dollies, mallets, bead rollers, profile gauges, professional panel restoration kits, and so much more. Now I warn you, enter at your own risk because you will end up buying something. So come along to your Cap City store or browse and buy online at machineryhouse.com.au because Hare and Forbes has the range. It's time now for a Capri on today's show. No, it's not the Ford Capri that you might be thinking. This is something a little bit different, 20 feet long, back in the late 50s from the United States of America. What a car. How you doing, Rod?
I'm good, Fletch. How you going?
Good, mate. Are you enjoying what's behind us?
Loving it, loving it.
Rod, it took my eye. I didn't think this morning that I'd end up interviewing somebody with a 56 Lincoln. Walking past, it was well worth the wait for you to come along. This is a brilliant car for 56 in all of its exuberance. It's a huge car, big car, a 5-star car from the time. What can you tell us about it?
Well, it actually comes from Canada. It came from Canada probably a year ago, and I bought it 3 months ago and had it VINed, and I had to do all the brakes, quite a bit of work on the engine to get it run properly, and yeah, she's all legal now. Good to go.
Some of these full-size cars most of the full-size cars from the United States of America from this period were all pretty well same when we talk about exuberance, the opulence, the size of the things, the way that they were finished. They were pretty incredible, weren't they?
I think so, and that's the that's the appeal to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the amount of chrome, and it's just it's crazy, but we love it.
So how does it drive? Is it a big floaty boat or is it not too bad?
It is a big floaty boat, but the suspension's really soft, but beautiful ride, and it's not a speed car, right? It's just for cruising. Yeah.
What are we talking with the power? What's up front?
It's a 368 cubic inch Y block, but I think the power is somewhere around 250 horsepower, but I could be wrong.
That power's not bad for 1956, Rod. We had a 132 cubic inch Grange and Holden running around Australia at the same time. Now, what is it about the Lincoln that impresses you? Like, were you on the lookout particularly for one of these cars, or just a car in general and it happened to appear?
Well, it just happened to appear, but I have another one that looks almost the same, but it's a 55 Mercury, exactly the same colour. So when I saw this, I thought, oh, well, we can just about have twins.
What sort of features does it have for 56?
It has everything power, bar the windows. Power seat, power brakes, power steer.
Now, the 3 months that you've had it, has it been a good 3 months? Like, are you enjoying the car?
Well, I've only driven it about 100 miles, so it's hard to know yet, but we're off up north next weekend. So, yeah, we'll take that and see how it goes on a long trip.
Yeah, and it's good you got your wife with you as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
She loves it.
Yeah, you're living the dream out in your classic car, driving around. Rod, it's been a pleasure catching up with you, mate. Thank you for your time. I have had a couple of these in the past on Classic Restos, but they're not the sort of Lincoln that you see turn up at a car show in a paddock very often. So, well, thank you very much, mate. Good on you.
You're welcome.
Time now for an angry man. Angry man by the name of Crown. He used to be in the Chinese army. Now he's here as a New Zealander, but he's got military stuff, so you got to respect him. What's going on, Crown?
Hi, some guy put a wrong parking. The management try in front of him, move the car. They not listen.
They're not following instructions.
No, that's why. The management call me, say, hey, Crown, you guys need to sort out the problem. Okay, I will do. Listen, I will use my tank, cross them.
Oh, you're going to run over the top of a car?
Yeah, I need to run over them because the guy, nowhere, couldn't find them.
Tell us about the machinery behind you.
Because we are the military vehicle club. We personal own some collections. Somebody like you, like a classic car.
Yes.
Me, like a military car.
Yes.
That's why we're here.
How long were you in the army for?
I was in army quite a few years in China, but now I'm a New Zealander. I'm Kiwi man. Okay.
Oh, I could never tell.
Yeah. But our members, most members, are Kiwi guys, all ex-army, army guys, Hopi guys, airsoft baby guys, all of the people, the boys are like military.
Crown, you're very dedicated. Where did you get the tank from behind us?
We buy tank from everywhere in the world. So we buy the tank from the British Army. We buy the Humvee from the the American, and we buy another one from Australia. Yeah, everywhere for a good vehicle we buy.
No Chinese tank?
No. I'm Kiwi. I'm not Chinese army now.
Okay, all right. Okay, so I guess what we're about to see is this poor guy's car. He hasn't followed instructions. The PA announcement kept on calling this guy to come back and move his car, and he hasn't abided by the instructions. So, Crown, you have the solution, correct?
Yeah, because the management say, Crown, you sort out. That's my guys. Okay, yep, I will sort out them. Okay?
Okay, good luck with that, Crown.
Oh, I'm busy. Okay, see you.
I just hope the guy's insured. Yeah, I'll catch you later.
Thank you.
Bye.
I can't let people down. I can't let you down.
No.
Yes.
No, I love that. I love that about the guy. He's here on a mission.
Yes, that's a mission. That's us.
Yeah, I like how dedicated you are, and you don't want to let people down. That's what it's all about, isn't it? Doing the right thing in what we do. Keep people entertained and keep it going.
Yes, that's why they keep people happy. The people remember you. They love your team. That's what we do.
Good on you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Again, it's been an absolute pleasure meeting you, Crown.
Of course. Next time you come here, see me again.
Absolutely, I will.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. How good does it get here at Kumeu? We've got Crown doing a spectacular show, putting a tank over a car. Now it's time for Steve, about to start up the jet car. How you doing, Steve?
I'm good, Fletch. How are you?
Good, mate. What can we expect to see from this afternoon?
Okay, you're going to see a lot of fire and a lot of burner bangs, and so it's going to thump a lot of people's chests and a lot of noise.
Okay, relating to power, what are we looking at?
It's got about 6,000 horsepower, which is about 6,500 pounds of thrust. The motor's actually out of an F-15 Tiger fighter, so it's basically taking an engine out of a plane, putting it in a four wheels. I mean, that's what we humans do.
What's it like down the quarter mile?
Yeah, it's pretty horrific. Like, it does the first 60 feet in just on a second, and the 8th mile, which is half the quarter, it's nearly doing 200 mile an hour, and the full quarter, if we can go there, because if we don't have enough runoff, obviously, about 275 mile an hour in 5 seconds.
So the little disc brakes up front would be a bit of a joke, wouldn't they?
Yeah, they don't really work until you're going like about 150. That's why we have 2 parachutes, and hope like hell they come out.
Listen, mate, you've done this obviously a few times. Does it still spark the adrenaline every time you do it?
Yeah, every time you get in, every time you're nervous, every time you're shaking, and if you're not nervous, you shouldn't be behind the wheel. It's just a bit of respect for a lot of horsepower. So,
where do you go back with these things? Like, how long have you been doing it?
God, I've been doing this since the 70s. It started in a street car, and then I've driven a top alcohol car, a top fuel car, and then I got offered a chance in 2005 to drive a jet car with another American guy, New Zealand versus America in New Zealand, and it all started there, and then I bought my own.
Is it the same punch in the back in terms of a top alcohol car, or is the thrust more gradual?
The alcohol and fuel car is definitely more off the line, but when these things get to half track, they leave the alcohol and the fuel car behind. They don't know the speed, they just keep going. Yeah. Whereas on most of the drag cars, it's done by the 8th mile. This thing really starts hauling in the second 8th.
Well, there's no such thing as a transmission, is there?
Nope, it just doesn't know the speed, it'll just keep going.
Steve, I'll let you get back to it, mate. You've got thousands of people here at Kumeu here to entertain this afternoon, mate, so all the best.
Thanks, Fletch.
Good on you, mate.
See you, mate.
Cheers. Well, what do you say about that? Is that a wrap or what? 3 massive days here in New Zealand, showcasing just some of the 2019 Kumeu Classic Car and Hot Rod Festival. Starting out this morning, interviewing some wonderful people and their incredible cars, and the entertainment this afternoon with Crown driving the tank over a Mondeo, followed by a jet-powered drag car, is some example of what you might see here at Kumeu in 2020. As I say at the end of every episode of Classic Restos, until next week, no matter where you're watching the show from, please ride and drive safe. I'm Fletch, signing off from Kumeu, New Zealand, and I thank you very much for watching. You can like and follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/ClassicRestosTV and watch catch-up episodes at shannons.com.au. Classic Restos is proudly brought to you by Shannons, insurance for motoring enthusiasts, Hare and Forbes Machinery House, Pace Farm, and Hero Hoists.